following is a presentation of Real Wise Productions and Comey Media Incorporated. Gosh. And any politician writes to the WNBA on behalf of Caitlin Clark. Oh my gosh. Next on Mentality. Welcome to another installment of Mentality, where iron sharpens iron in the realm of health, wealth, mental health, entrepreneurship, love, and brotherhood, all from a man's perspective. I am one of the co-hosts of this program, Cole Johnson, aka the mad scientist and EP extraordinaire and the EP of all EPs. And I'm joined as always by the other co-host of this program, the man that is known as, Wize All, Mr. Stuck in My Mind, Mr. Wise in the AM, and yes, King Petty. That's right, your boy and mine, Wize, aka Wise El Jefe. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. I can't complain. I'm doing good.
According to data from the National Institutes of Health, Black and white Americans use drugs at the same rate, yet Black Americans are 4 times more likely to be incarcerated. Now, it's unfortunate that they are less likely to receive treatment and more likely to die. Back in March, the Centers for Disease and Control, or CDC, they revealed that the death rate for white Americans dropped for the first time in years, while rates for overdose deaths for Black Americans increased by 7.5%. So my question to you, sir, is why is it still an issue to help Black Americans overcome drug addictions while at the same time the government drags their feet about prison reform?
It's the same reason it's been like it's not changing, man. It's like until we do something about it, until we start making changes, until we start giving a about our own communities, because obviously no one else is going to give a about our own communities unless we start to do something about it. And we've kind of gotten away from community. We're no longer like from when I was growing up to now, the sense of community has just like evaporated. Like there's no community, and it's a shame. Like I remember every summer there will be 3 charter buses from my neighborhood going up to the 7 Lakes in upstate New York, and it was everybody from the neighborhood and the community going to barbecue, playing in the lake, and that was a community event. That was something we did as a community. We're no longer there. We're so divided. It's not like we care. It's not like we care enough about ourselves to give a about the rest of the community. And it starts with us. It starts with us pointing this out, working towards building communities again. And that's something me and Poppy J talk about all the time. Our initiative, We Are the Village, is about building a community.
Yeah.
We want to get back to building communities because we're lost right now. With all these killings in Chicago, all the violence that's going in New York City, we are lost. And it's kind of our generation fault.
I agree. It is.
Where we've focused more on having celebrities lead the way instead of people who are in the communities, people in the hoods leading the way.
Delaware resident Edward Banner said he has rummaged through public trash bins for more than 2 decades. But this past Thursday, that hobby landed the 80-year-old man on the witness stand in the federal courthouse in Wilmington, facing the president's son as a defendant's table and in the middle of a national drama. The 40-year-old retiree of General Motors Boxwood plant in Newport was called by federal prosecutors to testify in their firearms felony case against Hunter Biden, the first child of a sitting president to face criminal trial in the U.S. history. Man, these two old fogies just simply make history in the nefarious of ways, but I digress. What chance do you give Hunter Biden in receiving a not guilty verdict in his current trial?
This is just ridiculous. All this going on. It's ridiculous that now the Department of Justice is being used as a weapon for both sides, both political
Isn't that
sides.
funny? Isn't that funny? Yeah.
And it's just a shame. Like, this system is already corrupt against minorities. Now you're just gonna use it as a political weapon. If you're not red or you're not blue, we're gonna attack you. Oh man, it's a shame. I could care less about his privilege. Um, if they find him guilty, oh well. If they find them not guilty, oh well. Like, this is not it's not like this is helping the black community or the brown community in any way.
Not even
This is not
close.
benefiting us. There's no law. It's not nothing. So to me, I could care less. I'm more focused on what are we gonna do with when they start, like, what are we gonna do about getting these old folks out of office? That's my number one concern, is getting these old out of office and away from public power, because they don't know what the hell they're doing. We need to get some people up there that actually care about their people, who actually care about the people that voted them in office. None of these people, none of them care. None of them. And then they continue to put these shows, like these.
That's a good way of putting
The
it.
worst Congress in history. Again, I've been repeating this for the last few shows. The worst Congress in history.
Wow. And the scary part is, you're not the only person I've heard say that. And I mean recently. I mean, as in the last week recently. But here's the hard part though. Old Hunter Biden is actually a Gen Xer, and to see him go through this basically due to his own dumb decisions.
Yes,
It's even more mind-boggling.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot. It's the privilege. This is the privilege that he's been allowed it throughout his career, his life.
The Republican National Convention is now less than 5 weeks away, and the presumptive GOP nominee, former President Donald Trump, has said his pick for vice president will likely be announced near the kickoff, and the date of that is July 15th. Now, this is reported from USA Today. Donald Trump's campaign has stepped up its vice presidential search, requesting detailed information from at least four of the top contenders. Now, there's people who are familiar with the process. You have Florida Senator Marco Rubio, you have Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, you have South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. All of them have been asked to submit background information for the Trump to the Trump campaign, and the other, one of our favorite politicians, Governor 0.8%. That's right. The North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum has been requested by the Donald Trump campaign to submit his background information to be the vice presidential nominee along with Trump. Now, my question to you is, are we seeing our next GOV vice presidential candidate and Governor 0.8%?
Wusa. Wusa. I guess it could be worse. I guess it could be worse. I guess it could have been worse than Governor 8.8%, whatever it was. Everybody knows how I feel about the Dakotas. They should just be one. There should be no two. There should no longer be no North or South. There should just be one Dakota. That's it.
Dakotas. Oh my God.
Governor 8.8%.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't even know what you look like. Because when you was on stage, I couldn't see you because you were so far off the stage. So I didn't know what you look like.
Oh, that's cold. If he was so far stage left, he couldn't even see what he looked like. That's cold.
Yeah, no. Token Negro, we know you're not getting the nod. They're just trying to make it look good.
Yeah, and I think he's trying to position himself to be on his cabinet. So yeah, I agree with you there.
He's just now Marco Rubio.
Yeah, one of the prized possession of the GOP, and has been a star GOP senator for almost 2 decades now.
Marco Rubio.
Yes, the same man that when he did a Republican rebuttal to President Obama's State of the Union speech, he had the water bottle shaken when he was delivering the rebuttal address.
Okay, he wasn't as bad as Republican mom that we just had. She sucked.
That Republican mom.
She just f***ed up the whole thing. But anyway, Marco Rubio. I don't know what to say about you, Marco. You don't have no balls.
Oh
Trump cut them. He cut your balls off and served them to you when you were running for the nominee a couple of years ago.
Cut the balls off and serve
you, Ted Cruz, every single one of you Republican clowns that thought y'all were big. And here comes this businessman from New York and hand every single one of you your balls. And then gets indicted and found guilty on 34 charges.
34 felonies. Goodness gracious.
Felonies.
34
had
felonies.
Had it been me or my brother, no, we would not be running. They would have been telling us, y'all need to drop out.
Yeah,
y'all need to
drop out now.
and it's funny that when they was talking about lock her up and they were talking about Hillary and they were saying that if she was to be found guilty, she should not be running for office. But yet no one is saying nothing of the sorts with Trump. Why? Why? Because the Republican Party is weak. Without Donald Trump, they're just a hot mess. They need Trump to survive.
We're just getting started. Mentality will return. Cool McCain.
You thought you wanted Gunther against Chad Gable, but you didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Chad Gable would take everything that Gunther's done and bury it.
The Playmaker.
It was on site. AJ Styles walked out there, seen LA like, oh, okay, then LA Knight hopped out the car, let's go.
Break down everything in TNA, AEW, and all of the WWE programming. Join these two kings, monarchs of wrestling, live every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the Play Caller Sports Talk YouTube channel. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson. Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald. With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Welcome back to Mentality, where men are men and not machines. With Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson, and unfortunately, we have some bad news to talk about and bring to you and bring forward to you, because we have to mention a titan in the hip hop world. And who am I going to be talking about? And who we're going to be discussing? Well, welcome. A cheers to you special of Celebrity Style. Mark Ross. Now, by that name, you may not know who he is, but some of you, and I know my brother, will know when I mention the name Brother Marquis. Yes, unfortunately, the rapper who joined the Miami hip-hop group 2 Live Crew in the 80s, and he was actually even featured on the Ice-T's song of 99 Problems. He unfortunately has passed away at 58. According to TMZ, who first reported the news, 2 Live Crew's manager confirmed Brother Marquis' passing in an email that USA Today received this past week. The group shared that he, quote, went to the upper room, close quote, in an Instagram post, and the cause of death has not been made, nor is it immediately clear. Now, 2 Live Crew's Uncle Luke, or of course Luther Campbell, or of course Luke Skywalker, as you all would have known him in the 80s, paid tribute to Brother Marquis on social media, writing on X, quote, "My condolence goes out to the family of Brother Marquis and so many of his fans from around the world after learning of his passing. We took on so many fights for the culture, made great music together, something I will never forget. We had recently got back together to take on another fight to get back our catalog that was stolen from us. We will continue that fight in his name for his family." Close quote. Now, I will begin by asking you, in learning of this now, how does his passing feel to you?
Oh man, it's sad. You gotta understand. For us, hip hop was a movement. It was something that was like, it's not like how it is now where it's the leading genre.
Right.
When we were growing up, it was like, oh, who's playing that monkey music, or who's playing that loud ass music, or like all this shit they talk about hip hop.
Oh gosh.
And
raked it through the coals. Yep.
And now it's the #1 genre in all of music.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it was pioneers like him and the 2 Live Crew who battled the Second Amendment rights. It was
and battle First Amendment rights
First
too.
Amendment, yeah, First Amendment rights. Oh, it was so many things. It's like, and now that I think about it, it's like all right, there's certain people that did do things that were important for the culture. Yeah. That was one of them. When they would when they would get arrested for the lewd and obscene gestures that they were doing on stage,
concerts on stage, yeah.
But it was the art form, and they wanted to protect the art form, and listen, it was something that they lived.
Yeah,
like music has always been about.
Yeah, well said.
About where we come from and how we lived, and that was part of their lifestyles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. Gosh, I was at junior high. I'll never forget this. Hey, we want some pee. Was huge. Now, of course, in the pop market, they wouldn't even know what the heck the song was, and other other nationalities know. You and I, on the other hand, of course, we knew that and played it ad nauseum.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one of my classmates brought a boombox, popped in that tape to show you my age. Popped in that tape, put in the boombox, cranked up the music when the teacher was out of the room, and then the teacher walks back in the room. The music gets lowered, and it is right at the time when you hear Luke going, "Everybody say, hey, we want some." Yeah, it was right there. But it was a low roar, and the teacher was like almost senior citizen age, so her hearing wasn't all that great. Yeah. So she didn't hear the line, and there was 30 of us all rolling laughing. But it just goes to show how, I agree. It just goes to show how much of a movement hip hop was when we were growing up. And when I think of him, and I think of the 2 Live Crew, I mean all 3 of those brothers, that's exactly what I think. It's like, wow. So this may not be exactly how I live, and it may not be exactly the hood that I grew up in, but it made me understand, okay, so this is how the hoods are in Miami. Okay, got it. Okay. All right, that makes sense. All right. And then come to find out, they opened up the floodgates to, well, there's areas in our own neighborhoods that are similar, not quite the exact same, but similar to what we saw with 2 Live Crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I want to ask what memories you have, because you just mentioned a couple of them. But how important is he? You touched on it. I would love for you to touch on it more. How important is he and 2 Live Crew in general to the Miami hip hop scene?
There is no hip hop in Miami without them.
100%.
There is no hip hop in Miami without Luke Skywalker and 2 Live Crew and Brother Marquis. It's, listen, they put hip hop on Miami on the map. Like, there would be no DJ Khaled, there would be no Rick Ross, there would be no Pitbull, there would be no Flo Rida,
no Trick Daddy, no Trina, nope.
Had it not been for Uncle Luke. Because you gotta understand, Uncle Luke was ahead of his time.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not just Miami. Yep.
He was Master P before Master P.
100. That's where
He was
Master P, I know,
independent.
got his idea from. Yeah.
He was independent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Luke Records.
Luke was really one of the first to really go independent on his own.
Yeah. Luke. Well, it was then Luke Skywalker when we were young, but it turned out to be Luke Records. Yeah.
Yeah. So he doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
He does not.
But Uncle Luke changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, listen. Master P revolution. Yes, he changed the game.
Oh yeah, he totally revolutionized it.
But Uncle Luke had a big part in that.
Yeah, he planted the seed. He planted the seed for the Master P's, the babies, the
babies.
Yeah, for the Jay-Z's. Yeah, planted the seeds for them. Yeah, because he was to me. I mean, I could say, yeah, well, you know, in Houston's rap a lot, and you could probably say a couple of people in New York that thought similarly, but they didn't catch the national eye, like Luke did.
Nope.
So when you think of Brother Marquis, what do you think will be his lasting legacy?
Hip hop pioneer, man. Just one of the greats to ever do it. I'm saying it was their stage presence was second to none. They put together a show. They made sure people were entertained.
Yeah.
And that's what the music has always been about.
Mm-hmm.
So we've lost a great one.
Yeah. We have.
We just need to continue. Let's just continue to support these old school artists. Let's help them get back their publishings, their rights. Let's just help them get back on their feet, because there are so many people who've made an impact on hip hop that are just not seeing the rewards that they need to see.
Mentality will be back in 2 and 2. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wize El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wize El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. Welcome back to Mentality, where this is the place suited, created, and engendered for all men. With Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson. And sometimes we do talk about women, but in this case, it's of a ridiculous nature. And I think my brother and I are going to have a good laugh with this. So welcome to something Oh my goodness. To ponder. So the now new WNBA star Caitlin Clark has been recently on the receiving end of a lot of criticism, a lot of focus, a lot of eyeballs, and unfortunately an unnecessary shove from Chicago Sky player Kennedy Carter during Indiana's win over the Sky last weekend. Now, it wasn't the first time she's presumably been targeted by an opposing player, drawing on voices of support from both sides. And yes, we recognize that old Caitlin threw an elbow to Carter and talked trash to her beforehand. There are some, though, who feel Clark should not be treated any differently despite her fame, which means she needs to deal with the contact. And others believe that the targeting of Clark has been unnecessary and discipline action needs to be taken care of by the WNBA. Enter Indiana Congressman Jim Banks. He is among the latter, and he sent a letter to the WNBA calling for action against those who are taking shots at the 2024 #1 overall draft pick. Now, he went on to say in his letter, quote, Indiana is a basketball state. We don't wince at aggressive defense, but this was not an example of playing tough. It was a cheap shot that could have resulted in an injury and should not be tolerated. While the foul was retroactively upgraded to a flagrant, there appears to be no further punishment for Carter or the Chicago Sky organization beyond fines related to a lack of media appearances after the game. And he, close quote. And he went onward to request for answers for 4 questions. 1, what steps is the WNBA taking to curb excessive physical targeting of specific players? 2, will individual organizations be held responsible for allowing players with histories of violence to physically target their competitors? 3, do you believe that WNBA players repeatedly diminishing the talents of their fellow players is beneficial to the league's overall success? And 4, do you believe that it is inspiring young female athletes to see players like Indiana's Caitlin Clark physically targeted for her success? Oh, and there's an ultimatum. He gave one of this coming Friday, June 14th, for a response from Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA, who has not responded yet. I will begin by asking this. Let's see if I can think of how I can phrase this. Oh, yeah, I can do it like this. How ridiculous does this sound?
Mr. Banks, this is the problem with politicians getting involved in sports. Y'all don't do your job. There's bigger things than Caitlin Clark getting bullied in the WNBA.
Much.
Okay. There's bigger issues in this world. Mm-hmm. But since she is the great white hype, and I call it how I see it, she is the great white hype. Mm-hmm. She doesn't do wrong, but yet she elbows people. Yes, she does things, but no, she's the catalyst to change the WNBA and make it profitable. Well, from what I can see, it wasn't just Caitlin Clark playing last year.
Nope.
You had a South Carolina team that was dominant.
Ran the table undefeated.
Dominant. You have an LSU team that has an up-and-coming hip-hop star who's a ball player.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh. Ooh, man, she could flow. Yeah.
You have Angel Reese, who's listen, Black Girl Magic. This girl's beautiful.
Yes, she is.
One day at the Met, she has this beautiful gown. Next day, she said, "Listen, she's changing the appeal of the bush bodies that it looks like they have in the WNBA. She's actually giving you some sex appeal."
Not the bleach blonde, bad Bill Butch body.
I didn't say beach blonde. I didn't. But she's actually giving y'all some sex appeal. There's other players that are making a change in the WNBA.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, she's the great white hype. And everyone is on that bandwagon. Even a couple of people we know that they can't keep her name out their mouth. They just love her to death. She could do no wrong with them. But that's all right. It's okay. Sir, there are more important things to worry about than a lady, a woman who's playing basketball and she's getting a little bit roughed up. This more, it's fine. Like, I'm sure Sabrina went through it.
Oh, yeah. Sabrina Ionescu, I'm sure she went through it. Totally sure she went through it. Oh, and there's tapes of that. There's tapes of when and just 80 WNBA players, Shamika Holdsclaw in the rookie season got roughed up. Brittany Griner got roughed up.
This is what people go through.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Candace Parker got into a fight her rookie season. So yeah, this is part of the course.
But again, it's the great white hype.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, the aforementioned Angel Reese. Oh yeah, let's be clear. The week before, she got tossed to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the congresswoman to write to the WNBA about mistreatment there. Where's that letter?
They won't.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I didn't see none of your congressmen come out and attack these white commentators who attacked Angel Reese 2 years ago, last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was last year, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't see none of your congressmen to protect her. Come out and protect her from men
talking real nasty,
talking real greasy about this young black woman. I ain't seen no one come out and defend her.
The narrative I've been hearing out in the media, but they don't go further like we are doing, is they mention jealousy with the other players. Now, do you believe there is jealousy with the other WNBA players regarding Kayla Clark?
Yes. Can be jealous. Yes. Let's be honest.
Oh, no, I agree with you too. I believe there is jealousy.
So, all right, so my apologies. I called them out their name. But can be jealous. That's one thing they sure as can be jealous. These is jealous. Yes. That's not sugarcoat this. These is jealous that this white girl has come into the league with some bread, getting money out that, and these been struggling for years. Having to go to Russia and get arrested and for stupid for sneaking weed, whatever.
CBD oil, yeah.
Whatever. Now this white girl coming, she's just the NIL money and all this other and these is jealous. Yes. They are.
Oh my, that's
you got y'all charter planes now. Yeah, I would have been like, yo, the charter planes pay us more.
You're just not right. Oh Lord. Okay, so screw it. I'm gonna ask this anyway. Why is a politician writing to WNBA about a hard basketball foul?
Because they have nothing better else to do. They're not doing anything in Congress. As you can tell, they're not doing anything in Congress. The worst Congress in the world. He has plenty of time to write a letter to the WNBA because this poor little white girl is getting abused.
Oh my gosh.
Kidding me, man, with this bullshit.
The moment I heard of this, I said, yes, this is something we're going to talk about because I find this to be ridiculous and stupid.
I got plenty of time to write a letter to the WNBA.
Write
something for your constituents, something, man. Like help pass a bill or something. Why you write a bill? How about that? Why don't you write a bill?
Write a bill.
Instead of write a letter to the WNBA, write a bill that you can help pass. Wasting my time on this, man. Please.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all in trouble, yo. Y'all in trouble. 2024 is a wrap. Y'all in trouble. We are coming for jugglers. I've said it when we came back. We are coming for jugglers. We don't care no more. Don't care.
Oh my god.
With no political correctness, none of that. We just coming. All y'all.
Later, we will have Thoughts from the Throne. This is Mentality. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, Wize.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Welcome back to Mentality, where it is the ultimate masculine safe space. With Wize and Cole, I'm Cole Johnson, and I actually was going to talk about something else, but man, I received a beautiful gift from my brother. And I mean, right before we recorded this, I received this gift. And this gift we've talked about in Politically Speaking. Former Congressman George Santos is seeking to visit the Poconos this summer. the New York Republican who briefly embarked on a bid to return to Congress as an independent. He was expelled by the House in a bipartisan vote last year. He is facing federal charges, including wire fraud and money laundering. Currently, his travel is restricted to New York City, Long Island, Washington, D.C., and with advance notice, other travel in the continental United States. Now, the Eastern District of New York Judge Joanna Siebert said that she looked over this request and said, quote, over the summer months, Mr. Santos intends to make regular visits to Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania, which is approximately 70 miles north of Mount Pocono. Mr. Santos is currently permitted to travel to this location upon prior notice. Close quote. Oh, she went on to say, however, he expects to be traveling weekly to the area. Now, my first question to you. How do you feel about the former congressman wanting to vacation in the Poconos?
And then in my town,
yes,
of all towns,
I saw
in
that.
Tobyhanna, of all towns, Tobyhanna.
I said, "Oh Lord, Vine's gonna really flip his lid when he finds out the city he said."
Because I didn't read the article. I just seen him talking about coming to stay in the Poconos, and the Poconos is pretty big. But then when you just referenced Tobyhanna, which is where I live at,
right?
He's gonna be staying in my town. and for your out there that don't know, Mr. Santos is not my favorite person. He is not my favorite person.
Not your favorite.
We know how I truly feel about him. And I shouldn't feel about anyone this way. I try not to feel this way about any human beings. But when you're a piece of like George Santos, you just can't help it. Like, I try to be nice. I try to be a positive Wize. But then when you get George Santos in my sights, it just goes out the window because he's a real piece of shit. And so imagine him in this beautiful part of the mountains where it's nice and peaceful, and knowing that the spawn of Satan will be around here.
The spawn of Satan.
It's just heartbreaking.
Oh my gosh.
There's a possibility I might run into him in the local Walmart.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. When I saw the city, I was like, oh, why is gonna hate this?
There's a possibility I might run into him in the local bar.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
There might be a possibility that I might see him walking in the parking lot and I might want to try to run him over.
Oh Lord, I hope not.
I hope not either, but anyway.
Oh
yes. Like I am very disappointed. Your Honor, you up. You should just restrict, like, no, we don't want him here in Pennsylvania, man. We do not want him here in Pennsylvania. He might kind of fall in love and decide he wants to come live over here and run for office over here. No. Then I really will be out there protesting. No, he must go.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I'm so glad I called an audible here. Oh man, it's beautiful. Okay, so Mr. Santos is up on, like I said, wire fraud and money laundering charges. How much of a chance do you give Santos in getting off of these charges, sir?
Listen, if they find Trump guilty, they can find this clown guilty. So he's not any smarter. So there's a 99.9999999% that they find this dumb guilty.
Not any smarter. Oh my gosh. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Okay. Well, I guess I'll ask this question to give you some good news about George Santos. Now, during our hiatus, which was April and parts of May, it was concluded that the campaign that he was going to have to represent the first district of New York is now suspended. So, how do you feel about the former congressman officially suspending his independent campaign to become the representative of New York's first district with raising $0 for his campaign?
Because these dumb finally woke up and realized that it was supporting the child of Satan. Like they did not know that this up who was a scam artist, who actually was found guilty of defrauding his mother's employee by stealing checks, whatever.
Whatever. Oh my. Oh gosh.
And again, I could care less about his sexual preference.
No, that doesn't matter to me.
That doesn't matter to us. He's just a horrible person. Horrible person.
Oh gosh.
That all he wanted was a lifetime of health care and wanted a 15 minutes of fame for being a congressman. And now look at him. He is a complete disgrace and he needs to stay out of Pennsylvania. And for whoever here in Tobyhanna, whoever's renting them the house or whatever, please, y'all should realize who you renting your property to. All I need is for him to rent a house right around the corner from me. Oh my God.
This is and now, thoughts from the throne.
Oh man, it's it's been an interesting week. I'm blessed, man. I am blessed to be able to do this show and to do the shows that I stuck in my mind, and with the relaunch of Real Wize Radio, I am extremely blessed to be able to create amazing content and just try to make an impact on people's lives. I joke around and I tear people some new ones. I have and I love it. I love being able to be myself and come out and entertain you guys, and at the same time, hopefully enlighten you. Yeah. I am looking forward to the rest of this year. I am looking forward to future plans. There's ideas just popping in my head almost every day. New thoughts, new everything. Is just it's an amazing time right now to be a creator, and especially an independent creator where you don't have restraints on you. You don't have people telling you what you can do and what you cannot do. I love this, and hopefully we continue to entertain you guys out there and bring you some amazing content each and every week. So thank you for the support, everybody. Real Wize Radio is in the air, is on the air, launched. I'm working on the website, working on the app. Those will be coming months down in a few more months. But just the fact that we have Real Wize Radio back out and launched, it's amazing, and it's a great feeling to have. So thank you all for the support. And those are my thoughts from the throne.
So the reason why the show went on a hiatus was, well, you can blame me. I had a work emergency that I had to tend to, which unfortunately butted into actually recording this show. And Wize has mentioned how much he's missed doing this. I miss doing this too, because there is a synergy and a connection and a chemistry we have with the topics we talk about and with one another. And I missed doing this. And now I'm grateful in saying that I'm back doing it with my brother. And the overarching lesson that I had to learn in the hiatus that we took was, in the work situation that was an emergency, I had to overcome. And no matter what walk of life, no matter what obstacle comes your way, no matter what the obstacle is, you have to have the strength to overcome. And especially we as men, we must think that way, because lives depend on us. Both familial and non-familial lives depend on us to overcome obstacles that life throws at us, because life means the obstacles are going to be thrown in our direction from every which way. But we are overcomers. Part of being a man means that we are overcomers, and we have to understand that, live with it, and exude that. And so in my work situation, I did. And with mentality, we are. Both of us are overcomers. And I know we're speaking to the overcomer in you, because many of you believe the way that we do. You're overcomers, and I'm proud to be amongst all of you. And those are thoughts from the throne. All right, sir. Any thoughts you have before we let our mentality audience go?
No, I think I've ranted enough today.
Oh, man. In doing this show, I have missed those rants. I'm so glad I get to hear them again. Oh, my. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And I hope you all appreciate it too, like I have. But thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comments as well. And thank you for hitting that notification bell, which gives you the platform of Real Wize TV on his YouTube channel and the Comedy Media YouTube channel. We both appreciate all of your support. Thank you so very much. For Wize and Lefe, I am Cole Johnson, here to say in parting, as we always do, our secret technique is that we always speak with mentality. See you next week.
That's 100.